Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here and welcome back to Civilization 6. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of a different leader. This is actually the leader that I consider to be the weakest in the latest Chinese leader pack, but I think she does have a little bit of potential. The Manual of Entrapment allows her offensive spies to operate at one level higher, and she also gets a free spy after discovering defensive tactics, which is a relatively early civic. It comes just in the classical era, so we'll have that spy very early, and every time we completed a offensive spy mission, we will get a little bit of culture and science. I think that's a relatively weak part of the ability. It will work well though with the Elsa Minerva, who I would like to try to get this game. Now we do have the standard Chinese abilities, the Dynastic Circle, which gives our Eurekas and Inspirations extra value, and we get free Eurekas when we build wonders. We also have Crouching Tiger and the Great Wall, fairly standard Chinese bonuses, just a strong short range crossbowman, and then a really good fort that can be built by builders that provides gold and culture. Quite good if you get a ton of land. Now, let's take stock of our starting position. There is something to be said for China going for a Stonehenge opener. I do quite like the Stonehenge opener as China because it allows you to get your hands on a religion relatively early into the game, as well as a wonder, and the wonders have a lot of value for China. Now, the only difference is this version of China can't chop out wonders, so maybe that's less good. Taking stock of our start position, we have a couple of interesting choices in where we want to go. I think settling in place is fine. We have a 2-2 tile here, a 2-2 tile here, and a 2-2 tile here. We could get that. I do think though, if I move on to this stone, I will get a 2-2 base tile and a 2-2 workable. So when you settle on a grassland hill with a stone, your city center will in fact have 2 production, 2 food, and then, oh, and look at that. We have 2 food, 2 production tiles, and a 4 food, 1 production tile in the spice over there. So I definitely feel like moving, just moving, was the correct choice. Now we have 1, 2, 3. We have a couple fish boats over here. We could have moved towards those. We can make use of a lot of this land. It's relatively high quality capital area, and we have a little bit of flatland nearby, so this is likely to be horses. I'm not sure what my opening tech should be here. Mining feels like it's a very safe choice. In terms of things, I don't think a Temple of Artemis is a particularly interesting play. I think it's an okay play. We really do want to think about what we're going to do with our early wonders to try to define our early gameplay. Let's take a look. Stonehenge is an option. Temple of Artemis is an option. It's not a bad option either. If I were able to get it down, the problem is it's surrounded by jungle. I don't have a tile to place it. I could get a Temple of Artemis here, and it would be at least 2 amenities, which isn't amazing. It's also not terrible either. I can't get pyramids, can't get Edamananke, Great Bath, or Hanging Gardens. Maybe we'll do a wonderless opener then. So if we're not going for wonders early, then we'll probably just get scouts. Do we want to go for a religion here? So how I envision Wu Zetian playing is making use of these spies. Like, if we want to build a game plan around her abilities, then we want to build a game plan that makes use of as many of these abilities as possible. So we want to be like building wonders. We want to be using our spies. We want to be using our great walls. The unique unit is less important, usually, which kind of all points towards a culture game. But since we are playing with the Barbarian Clans, the Heroes and Legends mode, and the Secret Societies mode, I don't know if going for the Void Singers is the right choice here. I mean, Faith is just objectively the most powerful yield in the game as it currently stands. So I kind of want to do a game where I step away from Faith. I'm going to go for Pottery and see if I can rush maybe like campuses, maybe currency, see if we can do some sort of science and, you know, culture and growth game, see what we can make happen. We did find a tribal village down here. We will go ahead and grab that, and we got a Nancy right away. That's quite powerful, and the Void Singers, and we got a free builder. I'm not sure how we got a Nancy, but that's good. The free builder is nice because we could do a little bit of gentle scouting with him. It'd be nice to get early plantations. We could do a plantation rush. We do have the rice for it. Void Singer, while really good, especially in the Hero and Legends mode, we could go for a Reliquaries religion. God, a Reliquaries religion would be so strong. Reliquaries Stonehenge religion with a Nancy. Even just one heroic relic would be so amazing there. Damn. It's just too good not to do. It's such a generic build for this game mode, but it is also just too good not to do. It's like the optimal play. It's very frustrating when there are like very obvious optimal plays like that, because it makes me feel like I don't have a choice as a player. I know I do have a choice, but you get what I'm saying? it feels like I have to do the most optimal thing. I also need to get this scout to run away from this barb camp. I'm going to punch him once and then spend time healing. You might be wondering why I'm researching mining first. Very simple reason. I need to be able to chop to get Stonehenge in a reasonable amount of time. So we got a scout out of the city of Shendu. We're going to go for the monument and get Anansi, because Anansi is a pretty decent hero. I would much rather have something like Hercules, but Anansi will do. Step here, kill that scout. You should be able to wander off safely now. There we go. We have mining. Yoink this. Himiko is also an entirely valid choice here. Himiko is really, really good for city-state stuff. Do I have to go Void Singers here? I really wanted to do spy stuff. I'm having a debate with myself in my head about what exactly I want to do here. It feels like the optimal thing is to get the heroes up, go for Void Singers. I think I'll have Void Singers as my backup plan, but what I really want to do is to go for Alice and Minerva, because that is very much so a spy-based gameplay that would really, really suit Wu Zetian. Wu Zetian? Not sure how to pronounce it. I would love to find some city-states. We are playing on a what do you call it? It's called a tilted axis. Let's appoint Magnus in the capital. Boom. This way our chopping is slightly better. We are going to go ahead and make our way towards foreign trade, all that sort of stuff. You fortified there. Would love to find a city-state of any description. Unit has been healed. That's one of the worst rewards you can get from that. Knowledge of the wheel boosted. We did get our first amenity up. I think growth is more important than working that. So we may go get this rice upgraded. We need to clear this barb camp. Quick smart, because it's spawning new stuff. I am genuinely shocked that we haven't found a city-state yet. So the question is, do I want Himiko or do I want Anansi? Let's do an analysis here. I guess we can look at the two respective heroes. So Himiko will be around for 40 turns. She's a movement of 4 and charges of 8. She gives +5 combat strength to all units within 2 tiles. She can't enter foreign lands when not at war. She ignores all terrain movement penalties. She gives you a free envoy with city-states up to 8 times. If you're already suzerain, you also earn 50 faith. She can levy the city-state that she's inside for a single charge. So she gives you, say, between 8 envoys and 50, and depending on like the game speed and stuff like that, 50 and 400 faith. Very, very strong early game. And Nancy, on the other hand, is actually capable of fighting. He's got melee strength, he's got range strength, he's got attack range, he's got 6 charges. He can hoover up resources from the map and turn them into science and culture, which could give you a ton of early tempo, unlocking certain key things like political philosophy. I feel like if I had found a single city-state, I would have gone for Himiko, but I think the fact that I haven't found a city-state means I'm going to go for Anansi. I feel like I'm just going to get better value, and I can just destroy like low value resources like bananas. Bananas are an easy harvest. It doesn't significantly lower the quality of your land. Oh, I thought this was a spearman. Oh, I made a critical error there. I need to be a little bit more careful with my warrior. Warriors. It would bring me great joy if I could find a single city-state. I'm not even sure they exist. Unfortunately, this barb camp spawned a unit, so I'm going to have to run away and use Anansi to clear it, which I don't want to be doing. 2 turns until we get astrology. I'm going to go ahead and get myself another scout. I need more information. This is looking like it might be a ancestral hall game. Let's make sure we go ahead and buy the rice tile. The reason we need the rice tile is because we need the boost for irrigation and we need a tile with a lot of growth on it to keep our population pumping, which is what the spices is. Let's make sure we work the spices and the rice. We have astrology. We can get started on the Stonehenge. Place that Stonehenge, but we won't get it quite yet. Move Anansi in to get this kill. If you are double fortified and you get attacked, and if you're single fortified, that's +9 combat strength, you should be able to take a hit and then promote next turn. You are 3 experience from leveling, get 3 XP on the defense. Very low chance that that unit dies. We would like to unlock masonry for era score. It would be very nice to get a golden age here. We have found another continent, so that boosted foreign trade for us, which is very nice. Let's make our way towards early empire because we want to have access to that governor title. Although I might grab irrigation first so that I can improve this spice tile. That seems like a totally reasonable decision that I could make. Lovely. The warrior did manage to survive the counterattack, so that's perfect. We'll go ahead and take the battle cry promotion on him. We will step forward with Anansi and we will raid this barb camp for money. And then we'll clear it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we will get 3 era score for clearing it. We may as well get a little bit of extra money out of it and potentially bronze working. We will yoink this tribal village. We got a free recon unit. Okay, so now I'm in scout mode, baby. We're gonna have 4 scouts plus Anansi. It's gonna be a very good game for scouting. Use battle cry here to kill this unit and get bronze working. Excellent. Another scout has entered the water. Let's get to work on Stonehenge. Now that we're working on Stonehenge, production now is a little bit more attractive than production later. So rather than work so heavily on food that I'm crippling my production, I'm going to prioritize production and see if I can't get that down to a little bit more reasonable of a time. We have found Pachacutie. Pachacutie the cutie, how's it going, my good friend? He's up to a decent amount of science and culture already. I think I will go ahead and send him a delegation to keep him sweet. How much would you give me for my amber? It's not good enough. 5 gold per turn. Here's the question. I'm only positive 1 amenity and I'm going to be going down to 0 amenities when I grow in 4 turns. So I don't think it's worth it to sell that off because I would lose 10% of my yields. And so I won't take that trade deal. I will clear this with you, and when you pillage, you should get close to enough XP to level. At the very least, you get a lot of experience from it. I can't believe I haven't found a single city-state. I'm genuinely baffled by this. We do now have access to pottery, so we can harvest bonus resources that are improved by farms. And it's time for Anansi to go on his banana rampage. We cleared the Barb Camp for +3 era score. Easy clap. We also find the Sanguine Pact. So we have the pick of the litter. We just really need to find Hermetic Order. How have I not found a city-state yet? How big is this map? Banana rampage, banana rampage. This has cleared out irrigation, so we can now build our plantation. And it also gave us early empire, so we can build settlers faster. We'll slap down that plantation right there. That'll be craftsmanship boosted. So everything is kind of coming together here. Would I rather grow in 9 turns? No, I don't think growth is going to be particularly interesting when it comes to building the Stonehenge any faster. I do think this is going to be an interesting game. So I kind of have a plan formulating in my mind, and it's going to look something like this. There's going to be a theatre square and a government plaza going here. And then in a perfect world, I would get just all... Well, here's the question. Am I going for a culture victory? Am I going for an Elves of Minerva culture victory? I think I am. To do something a little bit different, we're going to do an Elves of Minerva culture victory and rely heavily on the use of spies to hurt our enemies. Let's get to work on masonry so we can build the Great Wall for era score. I need to just hold on here. And we're going to do a massive giga settling wave in the near future. The Great Bath has been constructed, so we're at risk of Stonehenge being built now. It's about the time of the game where it'll happen. Pachacutie hates me, even though I sent him a delegation. Annoying. Another Barb Camp. Can't buy a warrior from it, don't have enough gold. Might be able to get enough gold in the near future. Let's keep scouting. Anansi, I want you to kill another banana. There's masonry boosted and craftsmanship boosted. Excellent. I can't even really change my government yet. It would be nice to get currency so that we can get the commercial hub placed as well. That's an important part of this civ. Is this what I'm doing though? What if instead I did something like this? Because now if I want higher yields, all I got to do is put a district on the corners. And this produces a lot of tourism in the mid-game for me when I get the Gilded Vault. I don't know. I'm still debating about how exactly I want to try and like advance my civ. Right, step over here, clear that banana. Political philosophy could be a potentially turn, like really early political philosophy here. Maize, isolated maize is a pretty low value resource, so go ahead and harvest that. I could promote, I don't think I will, I'm thinking about it. How are there no city-states? I'm pretty sure I put city-states on the map. How have I found none? We did find Mount Kilimanjaro, go ahead and do a little exploring. He's starting to settle to the south, which is making me very uncomfortable. I have a feeling he's going to very hardcore forward settle me because he knows where my capital city is. He's going to settle somewhere here because he's a massive bellend. Okay, no. Okay, he was a little bit more conservative than I was expecting, actually. We'll harvest the maize. All right, do we have any other low value resources around? There's actually a good farm triangle down here, so I don't want to kill those. I don't really see any low value resources hanging around near my empire now, so I'll have to send a Nancy off somewhere else to get that work done. We do now have currency and political philosophy. I do believe it's an autocracy opener. And here's the question. Does Stonehenge actually give you faith? It does. So we can take out God King and put in Corvée. I suppose like a diplomatic league on the... no, I'd be able to stack up on envoys. And then I would like to get urban planning. That'd be nice. He's standing on fucking Stonehenge. What an absolute bellend. I'm sorry, but that guy's a jerk. Look at where he's standing. Look, came all the way from here. It'll ruin my day. I'll get a warrior and send it off in that direction. It would be good to get drama and poetry early. We can boost it and actually get it pretty quick. Mansa Musa, it's an honor to meet you. Would love to sample your hospitality. There's Torre del Paine. So he spawned next to Torre. That's actually pretty huge for him. We will send him a delegation to try and keep him sweet. Mutual open borders. He will take the deal. Got to try to keep that relationship going. Go ahead and kill that scout right there. Finish that Stonehenge, please. We're starting to find the North Pole with our scouts now, which is decidedly handy. Oh, we found the Namib Sand Sea. Some of these are added by the map mod that I use. the better balanced starts mod. It kind of just makes things more balanced, so you never get like a start that's too OP or too underpowered. It kind of evens out the RNG for the game, and I like to just plug it in sometimes. So Desert Nomads is the ability given by this wonder. 3-tile natural wonder yields +2 gold, +2 production, and +2 culture gold and production, and recon units who go through the sand sea receive +1 movement for the rest of the game. That's actually a super interesting bonus. I like that a lot. See if I can get all my scouts to head up there. We're very close to a golden age, and if we're going to golden age, I would like it to be monumentality. We have found Nazca. That's actually huge. Now this changes things. If I find Nazca in a game where I'm potentially going for a religion, that turns this into a holy site. Holy site bonanza. Let's go ahead and harvest this to get drama and poetry sooner. So the #1 goal of my empire now is to expand. We need to start doing that efficiently. Tokugawa, nice to meet you. We found another player. I will definitely send him a delegation. There's Stonehenge. Stonehenge complete. We'll get our Pantheon in a turn. We also got drama and poetry. Tokugawa, delegation. There you go, bud. Let's make sure we do mutual open borders. Keep him sweet. Keep him from declaring war on us. We harvest another banana. That means drama and poetry is now completed. We definitely want to get to defensive tactics ASAP as this civ. It's already turned 42 and we're like super deep. So Anansi has a lot of value here. Let's change our government. We want to plug in the settler card. And while they're cheap, it'd be nice to quickly squeeze out a couple of settlers. So if this is the ideal settling pattern for me, maybe I can substitute a couple of these. You know what? I think I'm going to change this up a little bit. I definitely feel like these are 2 theater squares. This can be a holy site for sure. These should maybe be commercial hubs for high value. And then like a couple of holy sites on the edge kind of suits me. This feels a little bit more reasonable of a government plaza. It's kind of a mixed bag, but it covers all 3 of the categories of yields that I'm going to want this game if I'm going for an Elves of Minerva culture victory. The capital of Chengdu will probably put that there, maybe. The adjacency on my commercial hubs is actually really important. We do have a golden age secured. Ancient Era ends in 5 turns. Let's go ahead and found a Pantheon. We have a couple of choices. I think anything that generates faith for me right now is actually really good. Our appeal is too low to make use of Earth Goddess. Religious idols would be 2 faith per turn. Faith from quarries would be no faith per turn. Until we get this quarry up. And I don't even really want that quarry. I don't really have enough desert to justify desert folklore. If I do a search for amber, there's like a little bit of amber in my empire. There's a good bit of mercury over here, so there's a decent amount of faith. It would provide faith for a long time. Then if I search for mercury, that'll naturally have, yeah, there it is, right? It has a bit of mercury. What about any copper in the area? No, I don't see any. There's a little bit up there. It's very, very hard to pick a Pantheon here. However, monumentality just gets so much benefit from having faith that I think it's worth it to take religious idols, even if it's not an amazing one. I think it does need a little bit of a buff. We'll go ahead and choose our religion. I believe I might be first religion, and indeed we are. So we'll do Taoism here. So we have to pick of the litter here, and it's very rare that I have pick of the litter. There's a couple of options here that are quite good. When Anansi dies, it would be nice to get extra faith from reliquaries. The problem is if I take reliquaries, that's a Voidsinger game for sure. If I do Divine Inspiration though, that's 4 faith per turn from Stonehenge, and it encourages me to build more wonders, which feels very in line with the way that China wants to play. This is the objectively stronger decision, but I'm going to go ahead and choose Divine Inspiration just because this is too obvious of a decision. Anyone could make this and have a really powerful game. I want to try to make Divine Inspiration and Sacred Places work as China, right? I like the idea of getting 6 faith for each wonder, each city that has a world wonder, which brings us up to a pretty healthy 11 faith per turn. I'm going to try to get out 2 settlers. I will promote Magnus with provision, and we're going to try to get our government plaza fairly quick smart here. Now, it will require me to buy a couple of tiles for a decent chunk of gold. Something I can do to tip the scales in my favor is to buy people's Diplo favor to sell later. Tip the scales in my favor, do you get it? What if instead I just did this? This feels a little bit better. High value theater squares without really doing much for it. Also potential secure of the Colosseum. With the Colosseum, there's a huge city overlap here that we can take advantage of. So let me just put a marker here. I want to try and keep track of where the Colosseum overlap will be. Anything inside the swords, this sword, this sword, this sword, this sword, and this sword, would benefit from a potential Colosseum that I built. And so that's going to have to inform my settling decision accordingly. It might actually be like pretty high value to settle a city like right here, for example. We could probably get a harbour in here. A harbour is justifiable. Since we're going Elves of Minerva, if we can, man, should I just go Void Singers this game? Should I just do it? I should. I should just go Void Singers, shouldn't I? It's a Void Singers game, isn't it? God damn it. I really want to do an Elves of Minerva thing. Let me, hold on. We've got Indoctrination, Initiation, Master Plan, and Ritual. So, Elves of Minerva are over here. Indoctrination, unlocked in the Industrial Era. Initiation, there we go. Unlocked by sending an envoy to a city-state. +1 economic policy slot. Each trade route sent to a city-state awards 1 envoy there. We also have we have Ritual. We have Ritual. Unlocked in Medieval Era. Allows you to construct the Gilded Vault, building a powerful replacement of the bank. Then we have Indoctrination. +1 wildcard policy slot. +2 spy capacity. And your cities gain +4 loyalty per turn. And +1 amenity when a spy is in your territory. Then you have Master Plan. You earn 3% of the gold in your treasury's income. Whenever an offensive spy mission is successful, you also gain half of the science, culture, gold, and faith of the targeted city that turn. This feels powerful, but it doesn't feel powerful enough. And plus, I haven't actually found them yet. I tell you what I'll do. If I send an envoy to Nazca and I don't get Elves of Minerva, then I'll adopt the Void Singers. I'm bargaining here. Okay, we're making a compromise. Just a little compromise, just a little one. We do a little compromising. So there's kind of a few decisions that flow naturally from the state of the affairs with regards to the Colosseum. Like a city here is optimal because it hits Colosseum. 1, 2, 3. A city here is optimal because it could hit that theater square. And then the logical consequence of these two cities overlapping means that a city right here becomes optimal because that still gets hit. 1, 2, 3. And then a Pamukala city becomes optimal, not only because it grabs the salt, but because it's in Colosseum range. So these all kind of like logically flow from each other. And then logically flowing from this city, 1, 2, 3. And we are going giga-wide this game, by the way. I don't see a reason that we shouldn't go giga-wide. 1, 2, 3. Then there's naturally a city here on the coast, potentially. So these two cities kind of flow off each other. This one might not. It depends on what I decide to do in here. Let's follow along this logic. 1, 2, 3. So ideally we would settle freshwater. I don't want to settle here. It would require an aqueduct and a little bit too much work. It is inside the Colosseum range, but what if I settled here? The closest freshwater in line with this 1, 2, 3. That would mean this city would prevent settling inside all of, well, you know what, maybe it would be better if I did an overlap of 3 here. So this city would prevent settling inside all of these tiles. This city would prevent settling inside all of these tiles, which leaves these 3 tiles right here as viable settlement locations, which means I think if I settle here, then I've gotten as many cities in as optimal locations as I can inside the range of Colosseum. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 city Colosseum. Now we could probably, if we were willing to have worse cities, we could probably cram in a few more. But I don't know if I'm willing to have worse cities. This city here is definitely going to be building an industrial zone as well. Depending on where I build this industrial zone, it could have amazing overlaps. We can't hit all 3 of these edge cities, but we can hit all 7 of these cities over here. A 7-city industrial zone feels good. Hypothetically, let's just say I was trying to cram in as many cities as possible here inside the Colosseum radius. I would probably do something differently if I was trying to cram. No, actually, I did a little bit of a review. You could probably get a couple more cities in here, but it's actually not a very good fit. And I think this is pretty optimal. Pretty optimal. I'm quite happy with it. The 2 cities that I'm going to settle the 3 inner triangles first, and then the northern wall for a second. I know that was a lot of time to spend on deciding on how we're going to settle our empire, but when you're going for a giga-wide build like this, I think it is worth it. The world enters into the classical era. We enter into a golden age. It's all perfect. It's all wonderful. We take monumentality, which is going to serve us incredibly well. Do I want to raid this barb camp? No, I think I'm just going to disperse it, get rid of it, take the era score, clear it out. This barb camp I don't mind developing into a city-state. Yeah, to be honest with you, it's in like a perfectly reasonable position, so I'm going to let that go. There's gaming and recreation. We can start the entertainment complex. Another barb camp appeared. It would be nice to buy an archer. Would give me a little bit of power projection. We'll go ahead and settle this city. Handan, you're good to go. We have an envoy. We're going to send it to Nazca. Boom. We got a hero discovered and the Elves of Minerva discovered. I can't just not go Void Singers. I can't not go Void Singers. It's 4 faith per turn. It's so much faith. It's like multiple settlers, dude. Yep, so unfortunately, while I do really want to make Elves of Minerva work, and that's what my plan was this game, I really can't bring myself to bring such a suboptimal decision. I tried everything. I tried bargaining, I tried to do everything, and ultimately what happened is I just delayed a decision that I should have taken a long time ago. Listen, it happens. It happens, right? It's not the end of the world. Do I want to research bronze working? I do have districts placed on hills. So until I actually place down those districts, I don't want to research ironworking, or rather bronze working, because if iron spawns in those positions and I can't place those districts, I will be giga sad. Not giga chad, giga sad. Let's continue to buy people's diplomatic favor. We'll take that from them. I really need to get my government plaza down if I'm going to continue to build settlers. Colosseum can be delayed a little bit. If I get my government plaza down and my ancestral hall, and I use my faith to buy a bunch of builders, I think that might be more optimal than buying settlers right now. Our first hero has completed his goal and he is dead, +2 era score, and the Epic of Anansi has been created. A very nice little work, great work here. 2 faith, 2 culture and 6 tourism per turn. Get that tourism train rolling nice and early. We're up to 17 tourism per turn, believe it or not. 6 coming from that. 3 from Stonehenge, and I have no idea where the rest is coming from. Oh, that's a great question, actually. We just got wheel, which is excellent. We're going to be able to buy even more builders. So builders are in position to start chopping out all the stuff that we're going to be buying with Magnus. I'm going to go ahead and buy this tile. I'm happy to place the theatre square. We're not going to be building it yet, but I'm happy to place it. The government plaza, I think I'll put it down just here. Do you know what? I'm just going to throw it down. Any old spot. I need it in my capital, so, well, do I need it in my capital? Yeah. It's quite hard to use it quite optimally in this game right now. I suppose this is a reasonably optimal location. If I put it down to the south of my capital, this city can reach it with districts, this city can reach it with districts, and any potential city I settle over here can reach it with districts, so I'll be able to make use of it for adjacency. Hell yeah, I want this early apprenticeship, so we're going to start researching that. The +1 production from mines will be really, really useful. I'm okay to research horses because I've already built the Stonehenge on the horse potential tile. If a horse spawns here, it's not the end of the world, we'll live. Well, I suppose one way I can defend against that is to actually just place the theatre square, and then I'm not worried if horses spawn there. Right, Shen do, or Shen don't. I suppose we could probably... We don't want to chop out settlers yet. I'll happily chop out a builder though. And I am going to risk researching bronze working. I have one of my theatre squares down, so if that backfires, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Right, let's step forward with this little settler here and pop him down. Unfortunately, I think I need to rest my voice. I talked for 7 straight hours yesterday, and I recorded this for about an hour today. I'm going to call that the end of the video. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.